quick run before Carly and I go on a little date night to downtown Cleveland. We're seeing a play. Pretty excited. I got like another mile to go. You know, I was talking about how great these AirPods are. This one isn't playing anything right now, so it's just my left ear. So I gotta finish this run, go home, take a shower, and then we can go to Playhouse Square. All right, so I finished the run and I took a shower. I took a shower so fast I'm actually still sweating. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I need to go make Carly some dinner and then we are going to head downtown. And we're here to downtown Cleveland. So now we're going to the Playhouse Square. We're seeing a lovely play today. What are we seeing, Carly? The Princess Bride? We're seeing The Princess Bride today. And Carly and I, Carly, come here. We're all dolled up for the occasion. She looks better than I do. But, so we're about to go to the Playhouse Square to watch the play. So, we just got here and somebody thought we were going to go see a play. What are we seeing tonight?
A movie.
A movie. It's cinema at the Square, not the actual Princess Bride. I don't even know there is a Princess Bride play.
Yeah, there is.
Well, we paid $5, so we probably should have figured. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Did I look athletic here? So, that was a ton of fun. I love hanging out with my fiance, obviously, because she's my fiance and that's why I asked her to marry me. So let's talk about cameras and what you should know when buying a camera in 2019. Helpful tips that I've learned along the way about me purchasing cameras. I actually really like cameras. I probably like cameras almost more than I like computers. Honestly, cameras to me are so interesting. There's so many new things that I haven't learned about them and I'm very excited to continue learning about cameras. So there might be some camera content on this channel. Also, I know my content style has sort of changed. I like it. It's more fun for me. I hope you enjoy it too. I like showing off me and my fiance doing stuff because in the future, who knows what's going to happen, and if one of us were to pass away really early, I would love for our kids to be able to see like, oh my gosh, that's what mom and dad used to be like. So that sounds a little bit morbid, but that's part of the reason why I want to show that off, and it's way more fun. I can be more creative and I just like it more. But I also had a secret hidden agenda when I made that video. That was all essentially shot on an iPhone with little bits of it shot on a Canon M50. I only have a couple of things to talk about. I want to talk about what you should purchase, why you should purchase certain things, and then basically how you can use certain things. So let's begin. So what should you purchase and what should you be looking for when you buy a camera? I heard this saying that says, marry the lens and date the body. Basically what that means is the lenses are far more valuable than the body is. Lenses can be transferred from camera to camera to camera. You could have a 7-year-old camera that still uses the Canon EF lens mount, and then you could have that same lens transferred from camera to camera to camera. Lenses are far more valuable than the camera bodies are. Camera bodies go out of date within the year, but lenses stay in date for years and years and years to come. So make sure when you purchase your first camera to make sure you're buying an expensive lens and putting more money towards that. If you have $1,000, spend $600 or $700 on the camera lens, and then maybe only $300 on the body, because you're gonna be able to upgrade and have that lens follow you, as opposed to buying a nicer body and an okay lens, and then when you want to upgrade, you have to upgrade both parts. Behind me is something that I built. It's an overhead shooting rig. I got the idea from Modern Builds. I'll link his video down below. Basically, I just put a bunch of screws into some wood and then we got that. But why did I build that? Well, I would say the main reason I built that was because I wanted overhead shots. But really the reason I was able to build that was because of my equipment and how I knew my equipment. Second thing I want to go over is knowing your equipment and what it can do for you. So for me, I know what my cameras can do, and I know that an overhead shooting rig with that height will be perfectly fine. I'll be able to capture everything I need to capture, and it should still look pretty good. But it's all about knowing your camera. I know my camera and I know what my camera can do. I also know what I like to do. I like slow motion. I also like quick cuts. I like having pretty decent colors. Colors to me, I want my videos to look good, but if they don't look that good, like, I'm not super upset about it, because I think as long as the story is interesting, that's what's interesting to me, and that's what I hope other people can glean from it. So basically, the number one thing is when you're purchasing a camera is to make sure you purchase the camera that you need. Write down the 10 things that you want in a camera and then make sure you get that camera. If it costs a little bit more money, save up some more money. Be patient. If it costs less money, buy some nicer lenses. The most important thing is knowing exactly what you need. Do you need slow motion or do you just want it? Do you need it to be a good photography camera or do you just want it? My first camera I purchased was an excellent photography camera, but I needed it for video. I shouldn't have bought what I bought. I was talked into it by some guy at Micro Center and I was very upset about it. And I deemed that day that I'm never gonna trust anybody else when I pick a camera unless it's a YouTuber, and I'm gonna get many different opinions from many different people. So make sure you do your research and you make sure you know exactly what you need. Write down a list of 10 things. For me, that was the potential to shoot 4K, the potential to shoot slow motion, a smaller camera body, a nice lens, and potential in the future to use this camera for bigger projects. And that's why I purchased my GH5. And then for me, I would say the final thing that you should really make sure you're thinking about when purchasing a camera is make sure you know how to edit the footage. Do you have a computer that's powerful enough to edit 4K? If you don't, make sure your camera can't shoot 4K, or if it can, make sure that's not the most important feature to you. Do you have a camera that looks bad? If you're using your phone like I did for that intro sequence for most of it, make sure you're not showing too much of the phone video, or make sure you're in really good light when you're shooting on your phone. And certain things are going to really help your videos, but knowing what to do with the footage and knowing what to do with the photographs that you're using and taking, that's far more important than camera equipment. Camera equipment is fun, it's cool to play with new stuff, it's cool to have a lens that can zoom in really close and then zoom in really far. All this stuff is cool, but none of that stuff matters if you don't know what to do with it. So focus your money and time on equipment that can edit the video and courses that can teach you how to edit video. I'm learning every single day, and I think that through the courses I've taken, that's the most valuable skill. It's who cares what your camera is. If you don't know what to do with it, you don't know how to use it, then you're not gonna be nearly as productive as somebody else would be with that camera that knows how to use it. So the most important things are purchase the lens, and then the camera body is an afterthought. The second thing is make sure you know how to use a camera and make sure that it fits everything that you need. If it's recording slow-mo, recording 4K, being a good photography camera, being a terrible video camera, being a good video camera, being a terrible photography camera, whatever it is, or being a good mix of the two, make sure that it fits in your budget. You can get a good lens for it, and you can purchase something that fits your needs as well as possible. And finally, make sure you know how to use the camera. Learn it, learn the editing software that you're using, whether it's Photoshop, Premiere Pro, whatever you're using, make sure you know how to use it. So those are my tips. Hopefully that helps. I'm Scott with Techno Eclipse. If you liked the video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.